Yo, 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 what's up, y'all? Jumping right up into it. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Jumping right up into it. Even though I got the Washington Capitals on hockey season and all that representing. Anyhow, I'm back up into it, man. So look, man, hit the like, share, subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all. Follow me on all the platforms, man. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all tap in with me everywhere. Appreciate it. Here on YouTube, most definitely like, share, subscribe, man. Share me out. Appreciate that, y'all. So right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers with hiring Mike McCarthy and me having some time and sitting down this and looking at this, right? So because I kind of gave y'all the GM look, and there's always more things coming up with this whole situation. Now I'm seeing, looking at, reading a lot. There's so many names of articles of Pittsburgh Steelers writers. Shout out to all the Pittsburgh Steelers writers because I don't know everybody's name. So I just want to give y'all a quick shout out because y'all writing about the team that I love and y'all doing a great job at it, right? And it's not easy to write all those articles, and so just wanted to put that out there. Anyhow, so look at and the Aaron Rodgers is rumored to be coming back in 2026, which is like the logical thing to do. It just is. Well, there's a lot of movement going around in the AFC North right now, and it's understanding of why they would do something like this, right? And now I'll get up into his stats here in a minute from last season, but a veteran presence and 42-year-old year quarterback Aaron Rodgers, you want to bring. There's a high risk, high reward type of situation. So the high reward in this is that you advance in the playoffs, you win a Super Bowl at max. The low reward part, the high risk part in this is you don't get to the playoffs, you get stuck in a quarterback purgatory that we've already been in and that we can't seem to get out of. And it just messes up a lot of things on where we could have been in a draft this year, the pieces we could have got this year, and the pieces we could have got a free agency and building a team. It pauses things, it messes up things, right? Not being successful, right? But it also gives you another chance to try to be a higher draft pick or whatever. And in this situation that we're in right now, because I don't think this is an Aaron Rodgers versus Will Howard type of situation that we've put in. I think us as the fans kind of made it that kind of situation because a lot of us feel is that Aaron Rodgers had his chance last year to prove that he can win a playoff game with the Steelers. He fell short of that, and a lot of us are like, we want to see Will Howard now. Will Howard could have produced something for us last year. Could have gave us some kind of spark, some freshness to the team, and I think both parties can get what we want this year, right? Because if you bring Aaron Rodgers back, that veteran presence into this system that he's familiar with and what Mike McCarthy likes to do with his philosophy of play offensively, and you got a rookie who has to learn now a new system and everything. So now him getting to see Aaron Rodgers do it for however many weeks, because I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to make it through a complete season in the NFL. I just don't. He just a hit away. And the way that this offensive line looked in that playoff game, I think that some changes need to be made, some swap around, something needs to be done with this offensive line. I don't know if it's a divine intervention or whatever, but that play against that Texans defensive line was unacceptable. I guess, from even from their standards, I'm sure it was. So you know what I mean? So I'm sure that that's how they feel. But you never want to see your offensive line play that bad. You just don't want to. Now were they one of the worst in the league? No, they weren't. They're fresh. That was their full complete year. And me being criticizing them and being harsh on them, I still will say that, it was their first year being together. That chemistry on that offensive line matters. That matters for a lot of reasons, right? That I won't go into name it, but there's some things that need to change with that. But now we have to have that veteran presence, and bringing Mike McCarthy in, the timetable is so short. It says that to everybody and logically, like, I don't know how much time they're going to give the hometown kid enough to win. I think he got to do it in the next 3 to 5. You know what I mean? Like, but or it may even be shorter than 5, because I think if you got 5, I think you want to see Will Howard at quarterback. And the reason of that being is because I want to see what I got right now out of him. You know what I mean? Even with him being in the 6th round, now with him being in a 6th round quarterback, what that means, y'all, is that he don't have no error for mistakes. He has no error to go out there and perform bad. He don't got 9 lives like a 1st round pick has. He don't have that. Will Howard already has a chip on his shoulder being a national championship quarterback and not starting. He already has to carry that. You know what I mean? Now he got to carry the fact on his back that he can't go out there and mess up. He has to go out there, be prepared, be ready for anything that's going to go his way. I mean, that's not going to go his way, that thing, and be ready to be productive for this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. He has to, because he's not going to get another chance to do that, right? He's drafted at that position that says you're already a project, right? That's what the team told him. That's what the NFL told him. You're already a project. You already got so much to work on. So now when you come in, if we not winning with you, you're going to be a career backup after this if you're not looking good. This is between him being a starting quarterback in the NFL or being a career backup for teams in the NFL for the rest of his career. That's what that 6th round pick says. That's what any pick after, I honestly would say, like after the 5th round, some guys would even go up to say the 3rd round. You know what I mean? You know, me, I say the 5th or 7th. You don't have, and anywhere in between there, you don't have time. You don't got 9 lives. You have to produce. You can't give us bad results, bad stats. That can't happen. We have, you know what I'm saying? We got to win. We got to show us that you can lead this team, lead this offense, manage this offense. That's what that says largely with him. But now let me, real quick get up into like what it does to say about Aaron Rodgers. And I've already went into like, where is Aaron Rodgers going to sign with the team? That matters so much because he's been known for the past couple of his seasons to make teams wait. And I understand he has life going on and other things going on. And so don't we. You know what I mean? So don't we. So don't everybody else. So don't everybody else in the world that don't get paid millions of dollars for one season. We wish we can get paid whatever, millions of dollars for 1 year of going to work. There's people out here that's making $30,000 a year and they can't get off work, and their mom might be dying sick in the hospital because they don't have the time to take off of work. There's guys that make $100,000 a year that can't get that time off. So when you got somebody making millions, I know it's the same. It's different problems. They got to pay taxes, whatever else. But don't nobody feel sorry for you. Don't nobody feel sorry for that. And it's not about that. And I hope it ain't about to change. All I'm saying here, y'all, is that everybody has things going on in life. Everybody does. But when you got a job to do, you have a job to do. Do your job. Period. That's just what it is. Now, how long do we wait? I think Mike McCarthy, I seen an article about Omar Khan, but that's just an article. That's, hearsay really at this point, because I haven't heard Omar Khan come out his own mouth and say that. I want Aaron Rodgers to tell me now. But Mike McCarthy has been down this road before. And as far as what Mike McCarthy's been talking about, Mike McCarthy's saying that, he's been talking about Will Howard, because he has to plan everything through Will Howard at this point. And I don't think some of us fans are understanding that, because Aaron Rodgers makes you wait to the last minute. You got to move forward. But and I think that that's just the best thing to do at this point, is like, even if he is going to come back, don't think he's going to give you an answer in time. So you just got to make the moves as if he's not even going to be here. Or else because it kind of puts teams and holds teams in hostage, because you can't make the moves that you want to make at for the draft or free agency, because you don't know it. So you have to plan as if he is coming back anyway. And that's just what it is. And I think that's the kind of state of mind that you have to be in right now if you are a coach or a GM, especially if you're a GM. I'm going out and I'm trying to see if I can get pieces for that O line out of free agency, or because I really don't see too much in the draft, right? Because they'll probably be gone early. Those guys will be gone early. So, there's some project pieces in the draft, but if I want somebody to come in right now, I got to go plug and play. So the first place I'm going is the free agency for that, right? That's where I'm headed. Um, and then it holds up other things like the receiving position. That's so important. That's important to this offense right now. You got to get that. So you just got to go out and make those moves regardless. You know, and that's kind of, and we're kind of put in this spot right now. And speaking on the receivers, to where I don't think that Makai Lemon or Jordan Tyson are going to fall to us in the draft, even with Jordan Tyson's history of injury. And I don't think that we should take a chance with that. But I don't think that he'll be available. But this class is so deep. This wide receiver class is so deep. Um, Mel Kiper might have Jordan Tyson number one. Somebody else might have Makai Lemon number one. Cornell Tate here, he's number one on according to NFL draftbuzz.com, according to them. But they got him they got Cornell Tate at a 88.9, they got Jordan Tyson at a 88.7, and they got Makai Lemon at a 88.6. Those are relatively the same guy. Well, to me, I don't think there's really no difference between the top 10 guys that they got. Okay, so I will say this, excuse me. After Makai Lemon and Jordan Tyson, that's here. They're a centimeter below is the rest of the guys from there. Period. I don't think that there's a huge drop. I think that there's a lot. This receiving class, we've already said it a couple of times, is really deep. So I don't think that that's a position that has to be addressed in the first round. So I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? Do I think I'm going to get super duper, you know, um, if one of these guys are available, you know what I mean, at that pick, then I think you take that pick. But if you can't, and we got 12 picks, we have 12 picks, right? And so it either going to be for movement this year or movement for next year. Either or is the way that's going to work out. Really don't know how that's going to work out. If it's me, I probably, and the way that is set up right now, the way that I'm thinking that they're going to make moves this year. They're not preparing for next year. They're not going to draft picks for next year. And why is that, right? Because they're probably not going to go with Will Howard. If we're going for Will Howard, if Will Howard is going to be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, 6th round pick right now, if he's going to be the starting quarterback, then you would know. Then they would be making draft trades for next year or the year after for the 2027 draft. That's when they would do that. But what they're saying now and what they're doing now and hiring Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers being rumored to be coming back starting quarterback, or having a guy like Malik Willis come in, is saying this year. You got to make moves this year. So everything jumps up. So they're probably going to reach for one of these guys. Do I think it's a bad choice? I don't think it's a bad choice to, you know what I mean? I really don't. You know what I mean? But to be honest, I don't think that there's a huge gap between when you say Cornell Tate, Denzel Boston to Jeremy Bernard. get stupid amount of yak. Now, guys who I've seen kind of playing like a pro type of system, like what Jeff Brom uses in Louisville and Chris Bell, I'm high on Chris Bell because I think you could do a lot with him. And with his size being 6'2" and 220 pounds, if you ask me, I think I like that guy better than you know what I'm saying, than some other guys. Like, to be honest, and I think all those guys can do it. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, from where I named. So, I do think that some of these guys will be available in the second or third round in the draft in the second round. So I think you go, you know, I think we go second round right receiver for sure. You know, and then maybe we go, you know, maybe fourth round, second and fourth receivers. I think that's what the writing says. I think that's what we do. Cause I think you're gonna get two. I think you get two good guys right there. I do. I honestly think, you know, I'm really high on Trevor Pena. I am. I think he's the other guy, but there might be somebody else that steps up because I think he has to be a high usage type of guy. He got to get rolling. You got to run. He got to get the ball in his hands. He's not a guy who come out cold and straight ball. You know what I mean? Come on, like, so that's the one downside of Trevor Pena on my end. But we can't afford to pass on a defensive back that might be available because these other teams are going to reach that's drafting before us. They're going to want to get these guys. But I think if you're going to try to make a trade, I think this would be the year because the class is deep. But there's only two guys I think that's going to be like, that's them. That's really like that. And Mekhi Lemon, that guy, he's the only guy who really don't have the, you know, he played a whole season last year. He didn't miss games and have a history of being hurt. So I think that drops Jordan Tyson just a little bit, even though I got them 1A, 1B. But we can't afford, in the draft, can't afford to go past a corner. We need defensive backs. We need a corner and a safety. And we also need a middle linebacker. And let me address that because some of us as fans think that Patrick Queen he's like that. Well, he plays when he wants to play. Anybody that's watched the film on the Steelers or you sat back and you watched some film on the Steelers, you've seen Patrick Queen be a sometimey player. Let me just be blank up front with it. He's been a sometimey player. He has been. His run fitting has not always, it's not consistent. But if you know Patrick Queen and you follow him, and this was told to me by a fellow, he was like, look, man, Patrick Queen is not a number one inside linebacker. He's not your number one guy. He's the number two guy. Roquan Smith was the number one guy. He was the second guy. That's what Patrick Queen benefited from being the second guy, because he's the guy that got to come in and clean up sometimes. Like he not, you know what I'm saying? You got to depend. He not going in there first, and we need somebody who's going to go in there and fit. But somebody else that can cover. Now there's a lot of hype around Kyle Lewis. His draft stock from Pitt, he's picked up tremendously. He's the way he covers, the way he plays, like, man, I'll get back into that. But you know, Patrick Queen, he struggles in the pass coverage, run fitting not always there, not great at the run, and plays when he wants to. Like, that's why I say 30. That's a lot of money that I think that was overspent in that position. So I think that has to be addressed this year. And so really we can't afford to skip out on any of those guys that's best available in that position at the 21st pick. You can't. I don't think you can miss on getting one of those guys early, man, if they're available from Jacob Rodriguez. So if we do go late, and I think you can get this guy late because he ain't got a whole lot of buzz. Aiden Fisher from Indiana, I really like. He really can play, man. But he got a little bit. He can really play, man. He really can. He could play. His play is great, phenomenal. I really like the way he plays linebacker. But the best is, to me, I've seen so far, and I mean, he proved it in the Senior Bowl a little bit, is Kyle Lewis. Pass coverage, He's the guy that we need down there. I'm just being honest, to keep him in Pittsburgh. We can't pass on him. We can't afford to pass on a Colton Hood. We can't. We can't. We definitely, if Caleb not now, if I know he's not going to be there because somebody just is going, I don't care what their need is. If he's available after the 10th pick, they're going to take him. Caleb Downs, if Caleb Downs is available after the 10th pick, I don't care what that team need. They're taking him. They're getting him. Even if they don't need a safety, they're still going to pick him up. Guaranteed. So, so he's almost, he'll definitely be off the board. But, I think a top corner will still be there. You can't, you know what I mean? So that leaves us with some choices, but I think, and things shake up. And I know the draft is, we're going to be talking about the draft for a minute. You know what I mean? Ideas is going to change all around. But just all I'm really trying to get out here is that we just need to know what's going on. So what moves you make, so the picture becomes clear. So it's not as fuzzy and as staticky as I'm making it sound right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what's going on right now. We know what positions need to be filled. So don't they. So doesn't the GM. He knows what positions need to be filled, where we need to be moving, but the ball needs to be rolling now. You need to be doing this now. So when the free agency tampering period opened, we're there. We're there. We're beating guys to the punch. We need to sign this guy. We need to sign that guy. And I think the best thing to do is to go after a younger bridge quarterback and somebody like a Malik Willis. I think that's the place to go. And I got to plan it like that, because if I don't get an answer from Aaron Rodgers, I think that's most definitely where you have to go, because you can't afford to hold up and wait for that decision. You just can't. If it comes, it comes. But I have to plan this accordingly. I have to move forward accordingly. And I think that's so I got to go get Malik Willis. You know what I mean? I'm going to go get Malik Willis. And he's a younger bridge quarterback. If Will Howard don't go, you know what I'm saying? It still gives me a younger guy that can manage that position until I hit. If I got to wait till 2027, 2028 to get my guy, you know what I'm saying? I got a younger guy. You know what I mean? I think, Rodgers is too risky at this. It's a lot of risk. It's a lot that goes into that. It's high reward, though. It's a high reward. But it's like, the safe play for me, I think, would be that. I think that's what it is. That's what says rebuild. So he gets it in, you know what I mean, maybe 3 years. We seen the Seahawks do it in 2. That's just great what they did. But I think, that gives you 3 to 4, bringing him in. So now you could build for the future. Now, if I make the draft, now I can make draft trades for 2027. Now I can give up some. We got 12 picks. I can give up some of these 3rd round picks for next year's 1st or 2nd, or get a couple, you know what I mean? Get a couple 2nd rounds, or however that works, don't know exactly what they'll get. I can fan it. I can, assume what they'll get, but no, I could build for the future now. I can move towards the future. I don't have to put everything to the side, and say, okay, I got to go all in, and this is what I got to get another couple veteran receivers or whoever else. No, I'm getting this now. I'm getting who I got now, and I'm rolling with these younger guys. I'm going to develop these younger guys. He looked pretty good the past couple. Malik Willis did. He's been progressing. He's been getting better. If Will Howard don't hit, got a guy here, and that's just what it is. So I don't really think so. From where I'm getting at, and everything that's been said, I think that's the way. That's where we're at as a franchise. We all know it. There's a lot of positions that need filled in the franchise, but a lot of it largely depends on, are you going to be the quarterback or not? Because I think at this point, if he's even questioning to come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, don't think that there's a lot of places that he possibly can land. Maybe there is, because he threw for 3,322 yards, and those stats look pretty good to everybody else. But that's another stat that ain't nobody really paying attention to, is that he was amongst the league's worst in average per throw, 6.7. That puts him 6.7 average would put Aaron Rodgers amongst guys like Jackson Dart that played 14 games, Jaden Daniels that only played 7, JJ McCarthy that only played 10, Geno Smith that played 15. Um, Even Baker Mayfield was down there, Tua Tagovailoa, Caleb Williams. I mean, that's just the way the NFL is. But I think when you throw in for 6.7, I think a lot of people can do that. I think that's just managing, and that's okay. That's all right. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. That's managing the offense. I think he was very cerebral back there. I think that you do probably want to bring him back for a lot of good reasons because they might give you an advantage in the division too. Also, you know what I'm saying? With all the movement that's going on. So, but like I said, that's just how I feel. Y'all let me know on what y'all think about, what I'm saying, this week and with the Stiller talk. Like I always tell y'all, pray for yourself, pray for each other, pray for me. I'm always praying for y'all. And that's how we doing it today. Let me know what y'all think though, man. That's just how I feel. That's what I think about it. All right, y'all. Peace.